is to make sure that our health workers are secured, they are protected.
Don't harass health workers fighting COVID-19. Presidential Task Force appeals to Nigerians as President Buhari approves trial of Madagascar herbal remedy for coronavirus.
We intend to continue to push this, even during this COVID time.
Hope for revival of Ajaokuta project. Federal government inaugurates implementation committee for completion. A warm welcome to the network news at 9, reaching you live from the network service of the NTA. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Reading with me tonight is Ajaokuta Steel in Benin. And of course, Dotun Ogunyemi in Lagos. The Economic Sustainability Committee is already putting finishing touches to its report to be submitted soon to Mr. President. This was at the committee's 5th meeting held this Monday and chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The committee is looking into the implementation of strategies aimed at alleviating the sufferings of Nigerians at this time of the coronavirus pandemic. Besides developing further palliatives, the committee will also develop a sustainability plan on repositioning the economy and growing the non-oil sector. Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, speaks on issues raised at the meeting to State House correspondent Jide Onifade.
Developing a draft, and it's in the process of finalizing the report. And of course, the Vice President has been intimating Mr. President even up till today about the work and the progress of the committee. So very soon, this is going to go for the President's consideration, and I believe that action will begin to follow promptly from there.
Present at the meeting include the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, the Minister of Labour and Productivity, and the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, as well as the Minister of Works and Housing. Others are the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Group Managing Director of the NNPC. More on the economy as the federal government inaugurated a 13-man presidential project implementation team to resuscitate the Ajaokuta Steel project. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who doubles as chairman of the implementation team, charged members to kickstart the process of bringing the steel project back to life. Mitai Rayben reports.
40 years now, the Ajaokuta Steel plant has been unproductive, as previous efforts to revive it have proven abortive. Yet, the steel project is crucial to Nigeria's industrialization and prospect of becoming West Africa's largest steel producer. Hope to revive the project was ignited last year at the Russia-Africa Summit, where President Buhari secured the commitment of his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, to resuscitate the steel plant on the basis of a government-to-government agreement, with funding from the Afrexim Bank and the Russian Export Center. This 13-man team of industry experts has the mandate to determine all parameters for effective and coordinated commencement of rehabilitation works on the steel plant as part of its terms of reference.
Ensure the resuscitation of the Ajaokuta Steel plant based on the original design. Ensure timely commissioning of the Ajaokuta Steel plant within a reasonable period to be agreed upon by the parties to the agreement, and recommend primary tenure of a bill operate transfer BOT concession. We intend to continue to push this even during this COVID time, so that all the groundwork that could be done will be done. But as soon as the COVID travel
restriction is lifted, we'll be able to move at a faster pace.
The revival of the Ajaokuta Steel plant, originally designed by the Russians, is expected to accelerate Nigeria's quest for industrialization and economic diversification. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
To some stories on COVID-19 as Nigeria records its highest daily death toll from the coronavirus, just as Russia now has the third highest number of cases in the world, overtaking the UK and Italy. Let's now join Joyce Ometu for details of these and other developments on COVID-19.
COVID-19 case statistics in Nigeria as at 10th of May 2020 rose to 4,399 with 248 new cases reported by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC. The tally shows that 17 additional deaths were also recorded across the country. This is the highest daily figure of fatalities reported from the virus since the outbreak in Nigeria, taking the total death toll to 143. The new cases are spread across 16 states and the FCT. Top on the list is Lagos with 81 cases, 35 in Jigawa and 26 each in Kano and Borno, while Gombe, Taraba, Ogun and Ekiti have 2 each. Osun and Bayelsa have 1 case each. Nigeria has so far tested 23,835 persons since the beginning of the pandemic. Figures by Worldometer collated at 6 p.m. shows that the African continent has recorded 66,285 infections with 2,315 deaths. Latest figures published by Johns Hopkins University reveal that 4,218,859 cases have been detected worldwide, with 284,792 deaths and over 1.4 million recoveries. Russia now has the third highest number of coronavirus cases in the world, overtaking UK and Italy. There were 11,656 new cases reported in the past 24 hours in the country, taking the overall total to 221,344. In other news, China reported 17 new cases, 5 of them from Wuhan, where the virus first emerged. And that's a global update on COVID-19. Many thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
Thank you, Joyce. Now, 33 COVID-19 patients, 24 males and 9 females, have been discharged from Lagos isolation facilities after fully recovering and testing negative twice. The patients bring to a total number of 502 cases that have been successfully managed to full recovery in the state. Nigeria is expecting samples of the much-touted Madagascar herbal remedy for COVID-19 from Guinea-Bissau, where trial allocations from many countries are domiciled. Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, at the daily briefing in Abuja, said President Buhari has approved scrutiny and verification of the herbal remedy by Nigeria's health authorities. Mitaire Ikben reports.
The Madagascar herbal remedy for COVID-19 has been on the lips of many Nigerians for some time now. Many Nigerians believe there is no harm in trying and searching for various solutions for the dreaded coronavirus, and the PTF chairman at this briefing speaks on the quest.
We have an indication of the quantity that has been allocated to Nigeria, and we are supposed to make arrangements to freight it out of Guinea-Bissau to Nigeria. I've received instructions from Mr. President to make arrangements to freight it home, with a clear instruction that I should subject it to the validation process, similar to what would happen to any other medicine or syrup or vaccine that is discovered or created internally. So it will be subjected to the same process.
With reported shortage of bed spaces at isolation centers in some high-burden states, the task force requested state governments to be proactive.
the offer that was made by the Conference of Catholic Bishops. They have across the nation 425 health facilities, from hospitals to clinics to dispensaries. Take advantage of every offer.
Some ministers gave sectoral updates.
Nigeria has ramped up testing by 1,127 to a total of 27,078 tests.
The flights that we have in process of arranging, missions are arranging, are all Nigerian carriers. So henceforth, going forward, we hope that we'll be using only Nigerian carriers.
The Presidential Task Force made a passionate appeal to Nigerians to refrain from hostility against health workers, but do everything to boost their morale in the fight against coronavirus. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In the meantime, Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Ajaokuta has assured Nigerians living abroad that the Commission will continuously work towards strengthening collaboration and unity of purpose, as well as collate accurate data of all Nigerians in the diaspora. This was during a 2-hour town hall webinar meeting with Nigerians living in the Americas, which coincided with 1-year anniversary of the Commission. She said the Commission will work with all stakeholders on how to strengthen NIDCOM. Ajaokuta explained that without the necessary data to know the total number of Nigerians living abroad, skilled and unskilled, planning will be uncoordinated, adding that the Commission will work with all state focal persons on diaspora to fulfill its vision and mission. We now turn our attention to the story of a stranded Nigerian, Mrs. Kafayat Amuson, who gave birth on board while being repatriated home from Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. A rare happening that has attracted concern from Mrs. Amuson, who was taken back to Dubai. We now join her via telephone in Dubai. Hello, Kafayat, are you still there?
Yes, please, I'm here.
All right. Please, how are you now and the child, and what is the reception like over there?
Yeah, we are actually okay. So, we are still in the hospital on observation for the baby. So, everything is under control.
So, tell us, what was your experience like before you were, the attempted repatriation?
Actually, I wasn't feeling anything. Like, it was just a normal flight, like just a normal process. So I wasn't feeling anything. I was okay before we boarded the plane. But actually, immediately we boarded, I felt like I just have like a stomach ache or something like that. So I was like, okay, everything will be fine until we took off. And then just after 30 minutes we took off, I think I had the first labor, which like just comes like that, and then I give birth, just like that.
Well, thank God for everything. But were you aware of the date of your delivery before the botched repatriation?
Yeah, actually, I got a medical report from my doctor. That was just April 21 that I'm able to fly, which we were supposed to fly on the 26th before the flight was cancelled. So when I went back to her, she told me it's okay, I can travel with her. Medical report is fine, everything is okay. So I went on with the processing.
Okay.
So getting to Emirates. Yeah.
Yes.
On getting to Emirates Airline, I was not asked the medical report, so I felt everything is okay. I could travel, and then I went on with the journey.
All right. You were one of the 256 persons on board on that aircraft. What was the interaction like before you went into labor?
I can't get you. Come again, please. please.
Yeah, we want to know, you were one of the 256 persons on board the aircraft, you recall.
Yes.
So what was the interaction like before you went into labor?
You mean interaction with the people in the plane?
Exactly, my dear.
No, I wasn't talking. I was actually talking to because I was in business class. So I was actually talking to one lady beside me, just like getting my things, because I was supposed to sit on 10E seat, but I went to sit on a seat. So by the time she came, she told me, this is my seat. I said, okay. Then I just get back to my seat. Then that's it. that was the only person I was talking with.
All right, obviously there has been a flow of love all over for you and the baby. How do you feel?
I feel so. I feel it comes to me as a surprise. I didn't expect this to happen, but when it comes, I feel like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. So just like a miracle to me, like, I don't know. So until I found everyone greeting me, so it's just like a surprise, a miracle.
All right.
Expecting it.
Okay, wish you good luck.
Yeah.
I'll see you so whenever. We'll see you whenever you get to Nigeria.
Sure, soon, inshallah.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, we've just spoken with Mrs. Kafayata Musan, who is in Dubai at the moment. As part of her efforts to cushion the effects of COVID-19, the family members of Secretary to the Government of the Federation have shared over 500 bags of grains to 7 villages in Dugwaba district of Hong, local government in Adamawa State. Abubakar Rahman tells us more.
The items include bags of maize. Sorghum was presented to the community by Atta Mustafa, representing the Yaduma family, was meant to assist widows, orphans and other vulnerable groups in Garaha, among other communities within the district. The gesture is not only to cushion the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, but to give the people a sense of belonging during this trying moment. Atta Mustafa said the Yaduma family will continue to support the less privileged in the area of need for the welfare and well-being of the people in the area.
It's not only the family or anything. Anybody that has the means, I believe that we should be our brother's keepers.
The district head of Daguba, Simon Buba Yakubu, who received the items on behalf of the communities, commended the Yaduma family for the gesture and pledged the items will be shared to the target beneficiaries. In Yola, Abubakar Hamman, NTA News.
We pause for some messages. The news continues after this timeout. To stay tuned.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
stay-home data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Glow Unlimited.
You fit follow, but don't wait for the world to pick you up. You gas get up, stand well, and keep pushing. The world may be on standstill right now, but this too shall pass. Stay safe, stay inspired. It's your life. Maxa.
Your hogs are a comfy place for dropping in, for lazing around, and hanging out. So we've designed our hugs to be just as comfy, with a soup-absorbent core to lock wetness away, and a soft, flexible waistband. Our most comfortable diaper keeps baby comfy at every angle. We'll never stop finding new ways to hug more like you. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Guy, what happened? This COVID-19 is not easy on my business, so my client just put the project on hold. Imagine that one of last week. They cancelled it. And I am scheduled to call my tax officer next week. What do I tell him?
Relax. FIRS has it sorted already. That's why they issued palliative measures to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on taxpayers. Remittance of VAT, which used to be on or before 21st of every month, has now been extended to the last day of the month. FIRS also states that it's imperative that companies whose revenues are in foreign currency and personal income, tax returns for foreign affairs, non-residents, military and police, immediately check their website for important updates as well as information on late returns penalty. All supporting documents can be submitted later to the tax office for all those who cannot access email facilities. There are lots more. From now till further notice, FIRS says all taxpayers can now take advantage of its simple, user-friendly and robust e-filing process to submit their documents online instead of visiting tax offices. Dedicated email addresses for each of the offices are available on their website, www.firs.gov.ng. Stay safe and comply with all the guidelines issued by the government so that together we can make Nigeria working again.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
My neighbor Casey and I, we gel perfectly. We support the same club. Our taste in music, totally in sync. But there's one area where we differ. Casey loves his peak-filled milk because it is low in cholesterol. I, on the other hand, I love my peak full cream milk because it is rich and creamy. So, choose your peak today.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Your Excellency, I, on behalf of the Yobe Kingdom of Delta State, express sincere condolences over the sudden death of your Chief of Staff, Malam Abba Kyari. In addition to his outstanding public profile and services as your Chief of Staff, I'm aware of your personal confidence in his humanity as a family social actor, and hence the depth of your pain over his death. I also condole with his entire family over the demise of this silent bridge builder who fell in the course of duty to our nation, Nigeria. May the Almighty God receive the soul of late Malam Abba Kyari and provide peace and solace for his family and Nigeria. Signed, His Royal Majesty Major General F.A. Mujakbero, retired CFR MNI Orue 1 Oroje of Yobe Kingdom, Ororokbe, Delta State.
Welcome back to NTA Network News. Governor Bala Muhammad has announced total lockdown of 3 local government areas in Bauchi State. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the lockdown was as a result of the increasing number of COVID-19 patients in the affected local government areas.
The affected local government areas are Katagum, Giade, and Zaki.
For the period of 10 days, to enable us enforce or enhance our contact tracing, quarantine the people that are found to have it, and establish a very robust and durable administration of managing the situation. During the period, we will also spread and decontaminate the whole towns in the local government.
With about 70% of the state's COVID-19 infections, the total lockdown will take effect from Tuesday by 6 p.m.
44 cases, 27 of them from Azare, about 7 from Yobe and other places. And we discovered that this is as a result of community transmission, not the kind of phenomenon that we have of people bringing it to Bauchi from other places. Those who have brought it, they have started spreading.
The state governor has since directed his deputy, who is also the chairman of the COVID-19 Task Force Committee, to move into Azare with his team. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
We now join the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, to share more light on this. Mr. Governor, sir, you were not keen on locking down your state. Why the sudden change with the lockdown of 3 local government areas?
My brother, I think the reporter has spoken why we had to take a very dynamic and decisive decision to lock down Katagum, Giad and Zaki, because we are just very much contiguous to Kano and Jigawa, where this pandemic has become very contagious, and our people have refused to abide by the partial lockdown that we have enforced earlier in the whole state, thinking that we'll be able to manage the situation without having had to really go for total lockdown. But now you can see in Katagun alone we have 86 cases, and it is far away from the capital. And of course we even had problem of managing the AOC, the coordination, the surveillance and other subcommittees that we have put about 7 or 8 pillars to manage it centrally from the headquarters. So we are replicating all the things we are doing in terms of initiative in the northern part of the country, where we think we are gullible, where we are overexposed, and maybe by that we will be able to manage the spread, because we discovered the thing is becoming very contagious. We have collected over 1,214 samples that are tested in Bauchi, for which we are discovering that most of the prevalence is coming from that part of the state. That is why we did the lockdown.
All right, Your Excellency, you are a survivor of COVID-19. What are you doing to stop your people from having your experience with the pandemic?
Yes, I have always made myself available and relieve my experience, because part of the problem we have in the state is that of denial, intransigency, and adamancy, because people don't believe that this disease is real. And I told them, maybe as a way of godly intervention, I was the first in this case in the state. So COVID-19 is not a respecter of personality, and I have been able to come out by His grace, and therefore people should take this disease very seriously. And I was one of those that brought it from Lagos. And so all the cases we are having were brought to Bauchi. We didn't have COVID-19 in Bauchi. I was the first carrier, and then of course my commissioner and my best friend. And so, but people are coming from Lagos, people are coming from Abuja and from Kano. They are interacting with our communities. We have locked down our prayers, mosques and our churches, but people still want to go for Friday prayers and what have you. And they are going to the market, they don't want to wear a mask. All the template of the presidential committee, we are replicating it in Bauchi.
Your Excellency, we understand all of that, and we commend you for your efforts so far. But you recommended the use of chloroquine for treatment of the virus. Is your state using that now?
Crucial in terms of knowing that this is something that you cannot play with it.
I say that you recommended the use of chloroquine for treatment of COVID-19. Is your state using that now?
Well, I didn't recommend the use of chloroquine. I'm not a medical doctor. I was asked to say what I took, and I told them what I was administered as a patient. I am not a doctor, and I'm not a stupid man to start diagnosing something or prescribing medicine that I don't have the professional capability to do. But what I said was I was given chloroquine and Vitromax, and then some vitamins, and of course I was recommended to do some exercises, and people should do that so that I can really boost the morale of people to have the will to live, to know that this thing is surmountable, it's not insurmountable. And I have been misunderstood, and many people were saying that I was prescribing this particular drug. I have seen other states even administering those drugs, but it was not a self-medication that I'm prescribing or encouraging anybody to do. It must come from doctors, and we are well managed by a set of professionals here in Bauchi who are administering. You can see we have just discharged about 10 people from the various isolation centers.
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. Towards encouraging compliance to COVID-19 protocols, Kano State government has commenced the distribution of 2 million face masks to residents. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, while flagging off the distribution, said the gesture is part of measures to break the chain of community transmission of the highly contagious disease.
With 602 cases as at the time of this report, Kano is the second most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. This informs the adoption of numerous curtailment measures against its further transmission in the densely populated state. While the lockdown order remains in force, government is also encouraging the observance of COVID-19 protocols. Part of the encouragement strategies is the production of 2 million pieces of face masks for distribution across the 8 metropolitan area councils of the state.
Kano is a mega city. What is happening in Kano is not different from what is happening in other mega cities in the world. We must contain this virus. We must fight this virus.
The governor also received from the Federal Ministry of Environment a consignment of personal protective equipment and decontamination items. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Kano State COVID-19 response has continued to receive assistance from various sectors across the country to combat COVID-19. A recent support is a fully equipped 66-bed isolation center donated by the Coalition of Private Sector Against COVID-19, CA-COVID, which was handed over to Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje.
According to the Kano COVID-19 Technical Response Team, the exponential increase in the number of cases in the state is as a result of increased testing capacity of 3 functional laboratories in the state capital. This also increases the need for additional isolation facilities to manage positive cases. As part of contribution towards meeting the increasing need, the Coalition of Private Sector Against COVID-19 COVID renovated an equipped block of 66 beds at the Abubakar Imam Urology Center. It is also part of the coalition's support to the COVID-19 response in the state.
Liquid Dangote Foundation and COVID will continue to partner and support you in this fight, not only to contain, but to defeat and conquer the coronavirus in the state.
Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, while appreciating the gesture, assured that the state government will not relent in ensuring that the chain of transmission is broken.
We will start hosting or accommodating those who are found to be positive for coronavirus infection. The Honorable Commissioner has already introduced the front-line health workers who are battle ready to start providing services in this isolation center.
The 66-bed capacity isolation center donated by the Coalition of Private Sector Against COVID-19, COVID, brings to 4 the number of such facilities in the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Now, the federal government has continued to expand its humanitarian frontiers amidst COVID-19 pandemic as it targets hundreds of vulnerable people in Yobe State for distribution of palliatives meant to lessen their hardship in the trying moment. Yunusa Suleiman reports that to this end, a delivery of trucks laden with assorted food items was made to the state government by the federal government officials.
The COVID-19 pandemic and insurgency are the two phenomena that have continued to aggravate humanitarian crisis in this part of the country. Consequently, federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, has continued to target poor, indigent as well as vulnerable persons in Yobe State distressed by this crisis in many different ways. This was evident with the delivery and handing over of consignments of food items by the representative of the federal government to Yobe State officials as palliative meant to lessen the effect of the COVID-19 lockdown among the prospective beneficiaries in the state.
Our expectation is that as the Deputy Governor, represented by the Honorable Commissioner, promised that this rice is going to be distributed according to the specific guidelines.
Before COVID-19, Yobe State is one of the states devastated by Boko Haram. The palliatives delivered by the federal government is therefore going to support the states in no small measure.
The representative of Yobe State government has assured the Humanitarian Affairs Minister that the donated 1,850 kg bags of rice will reach the targeted beneficiaries, as already a template has been developed for that purpose. In Damatru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
There was no social distancing in that report you saw right now, and we don't encourage such. Now, the federal government has again renewed commitment to provision of portable water supply by drilling boreholes for communities considered most vulnerable in the country. Management of Ogun Ocean River Basin Development Authority demonstrated this at the commissioning of a 12-panel solar-powered borehole donated to Ogun State Police Command to enhance good health condition in the police community.
A 12-panel solar-powered borehole with a capacity of providing portable water to a community of 500 people was commissioned alongside 2 gallons of 5,000 storage capacity plastic tanks mounted on a 6-meter-high stanchion. The Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Ogun Ocean River Basin Development Authority, Femi Odumosun, said the borehole will curb vulnerable exposure to threats of COVID-19 in the state. He assured that the borehole drilled to a 150-meter depth for the police community will be replicated in communities across the state.
In accordance with the executive order signed by His Excellency Mr. President, for this to come to fruition, provision of water supply at the urban and rural environment has become imperative.
Meanwhile, palliative materials distributed to vulnerable people across communities in Ogun State include crates of eggs, cartons of table water, bags of gari, rice, and fruits.
I really appreciate what Ogun has done for us.
Agricultural value and products of the Ogun Ocean River Basin Development Authority were also distributed as palliative and support to reduce the effect of COVID-19 lockdown on the vulnerable in their host communities. In Ajaokuta, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
Let's now talk security. 17 bandits operating in parts of Kaduna State have been killed in joint clearance involving troops of Operation Thunderstrike and Wild Stroke with support from the air component of Operation Gamma Aiki. A statement by the coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, indicates that the criminals were eliminated from their hideouts around Mashigi, Galbi and Kabarasha villages in Gwagwada district of Chukun local government of Kaduna State. Major General Enenche knows that 3 empty houses and a church building at Kabarasha village were partially damaged during the encounter. The armed forces regret the unfortunate incident and have set up a panel in liaison with the Kaduna State government to investigate the occurrence with a view to providing compensation. The statement commends the public for their support and enjoins them to regularly provide credible information that will facilitate the operations of armed forces. To the National Assembly now, where the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs has screened 6 out of the 38 nominees sent to the Senate by the President Muhammadu Buhari for confirmation as chairman and commissioners of the Federal Character Commission. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko tells us more.
Character Commission has commenced the screening of 38 nominees. The chairman designate, Dr. Muhiba Dankaka, was the first nominee to face the panel.
As the nominee from the presidency, how do you expect to run this office?
I look at the whole 36 states, they are all my states. I will still be fair in whatever I do.
The committee reminded the nominees of the need to foster national unity through strict adherence to the federal character principle.
Every time there is provision or vacancies are declared, you must seek approval of the National Assembly.
This is an extension of plenary, that we should allow this intelligent woman to bow and go.
Those screened include Adeniyi Olowofela, Abiodun Akinlade, Ginika Florence, Tonya Okio, and Mohammed Hamza. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, described the choice of a woman this time for the chairmanship position as a positive step.
I was married to somebody from the core north, coming from Kwara State. I have no doubt in my mind that with her humility and her readiness to learn, she will be a credit to the commission.
The minister thereafter harped on the need for intensified sensitization, especially by the media, against the spread of COVID-19. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
And still on the National Assembly, the House of Representatives will, in a couple of days, come up with a legislation that will give constitutional backing to social intervention programs of the federal government. Correspondent Lami Ali reports that this issue came up when House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila hosted the leaders of some civil society organizations.
Public interest, accountability and transparency are a few of the factors that propelled the lawmakers to provide legislation on critical issues, which is why the 9th House of Representatives says Femi Gbajabiamila will continue to provide leadership at all times. He solicited the understanding of all citizens, especially key stakeholders like the civil society, noting that all bills are targeted at addressing shortcomings for public good.
Social intervention programs of government, now it's not in any good effort. It's not a law. It's more or less a palliative, subject to the whims and caprices of anybody. So what we're trying to do, because you have the same programs, similar programs in other countries, in America, in Germany, in England, but they're codified so that it's not subject to anybody's desire or how he wants to distribute. It's written, it's embedded and baked into the law that is made for that purpose.
The CSOs commended the House leadership for various initiatives like the COVID-19 economic stimulus bill, among others.
To also extend the such light in the response to COVID-19 to not just the city but to the deep grassroots areas where there is less information due to the circumstances and due to the less infrastructural facilities there. Both sides agreed that synergy is essential to eliminate misinformation. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
More reports as we join Dalton in Lagos.
Thank you, Kenneth. The Nigerian Army has donated personal protective equipment alongside other kits to the Lagos State government in the fight against the spread of coronavirus. General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Major General Olubunmi Irefin, while presenting the items, stated that the pandemic, which is a challenge to all mankind, can only be defeated through concerted efforts. Imola Yotokede has details.
The Nigerian Army, the largest component of the Nigerian Armed Forces, responsible for land warfare operations, thereby defending the country from external aggression. As part of its efforts, supports the federal government towards curbing the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The General Officer commanding 81 Division, Major General Olubumi Irefe, while commending the Lagos State government for its commitment, stated that the donation is part of the Nigerian Army's efforts at keeping the state safe.
It's the much we can do to assist. And in other areas of security, we shall continue to assist the state government. We are quite aware that all our men have been outside to make sure that the instructions are obeyed by populace.
Receiving the items, Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Health, Dr. Olusegun Ogboye, said the equipment will go a long way to protect not only those at the front line, but Lagosians as a whole.
These are things that are constantly in use and constantly need replacement. These are things that are also very difficult now to procure across the world. So they are going to be very, very useful.
The items donated, branded in the Nigerian Army logo, are personal protective equipment, face masks, hand sanitizers, liquid soap, hand gloves, among others. In Lagos, Imoli Ayotukide, NTA News.
To be honest, Nigerians still can't come to terms with the times not having to go where they please, when they want, hosting and attending parties, going to school or place of worship. They are still finding it difficult to adjust. However, there are some advantages that come with retreating into your privacy. Abolade Salami reports.
When it was clear that coronavirus case in Nigeria was on the increase sometime in March, the federal government wasted no time in declaring a total lockdown in Lagos, FCT and Ogun states. The lockdown, which lasted for 5 weeks, was later eased off to allow inter-business operations with precautionary measures instituted. Onto the pros. The lockdown, according to Boyega Oluwasegun, was a period of self-discovery and spiritual reawakening.
By God's grace, I have time to read my Bible. I have time to take care of my children and study their moments and their attitude, and I have time to correct them on so many things.
While Oluwasegun took out time to acquire deeper spiritual knowledge, Ogilisoso spent more hours in his library researching and finding answers to diverse subjects that were either too puzzling.
For me, for instance, I'm somebody that do a lot of research. So through this lockdown, I've done so many researches, and that it has helped me have known more about my country and in fact at the world at large. So I think in that aspect, I benefited greatly.
In whatever way you may want to describe the lockdown, it was a period where some came up with innovations, others had much needed elusive rest, while majority spent time with their loved ones.
The benefit I have in this lockdown, that I have the benefit of staying with my family.
More importantly, however, individuals had no choice but adhere strictly to the guidelines of social distancing, frequent hand washing, and wearing a face mask in public. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Network News continues after the break.
Stay home data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Glow Unlimited.
Health experts across the globe are working tirelessly to develop a cure against the deadly coronavirus pandemic. But always remember, prevention is better than cure. You can protect yourself from the COVID-19 pandemic by taking the following measures recommended by the World Health Organization. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or hand sanitizer with alcohol for at least 20 seconds. Avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth with unwashed hands. Clean and disinfect household surfaces daily. Practice social distancing by keeping at least 2 meters away from others if you must go out in public. Stay home if you can and avoid unnecessary travels to avoid the spread of COVID-19. Stay safe. Coronavirus is real. This message is brought to you by Amen Foundation.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
Wake up, nothing can hold us down. Get up, born to wear the crown.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Our smiles have never been so uncertain. This weekend that seems to regenerate. We never imagined missing the music of our office printer. That time stopped does not mean our stories have. We are the brave ones that set aside self-interest for a common goal. One day, we will toast to this bravery in our favorite restaurants. Arm in arm, we will sing at every concert and never skip a beat. One day, we will reclaim our streets from the wildings that have borrowed it. Take back our fields from the bush that have rented it. We will discover new places. The grey clouds will roll away and the sun will shine. Together, we will beat this and rebuild our economy. Till then, hold your position and stay safe.
Action. Make your home the place to be with GoTV's super cool kids channels.
That sounds fun.
From funky friends that'll keep even the little ones busy.
All right, everybody, let's do this!
To learn as you watch educational shows for curious young minds.
You can do some amazing things.
There's plenty for everyone. Tune in to our kids shows and get everything you need to keep the kids entertained and learning the fun way. GoTV. Live it, love it.
We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
The chairman of the Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers, Oba Frederick Akironton, has advocated greater involvement of the traditional institution in the current war against the coronavirus pandemic in the country. Oba Akironton, who spoke with Olubukola Aduwo in his palace in Ilaje local government area of the state, says royal fathers are better placed to spread the message of prevention and social distancing to the subjects at the grassroots.
Oba Frederick Akironton, who is the Olugbo of Ugbo Kingdom, a coastal community in Ondo State, said that it is cleared from available information from across the world on the prevention and treatment of COVID-19 that federal and state governments are doing their best to curb the spread of the virus in Nigeria. He particularly praised the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and the various state apparatus for their relentless war against the disease, He enjoined fellow traditional rulers to set up structures in their various communities to support and carry government messages on prevention of the spread of the disease to more people at the grassroots.
What I did here was that I made sure I have a lot of violence. The chiefs have a committee that go around because I have about 250 communities put aside. They will go and show them how to use the sanitizers, the gloves, the mask, and the distance. They go almost every day. That is science. If you look at what happened in the whole country, we don't experience it here. It's the level of education, so we educate them.
Oba Akinrutanwi called for greater involvement of individuals and corporate bodies in assisting government with more resources to prosecute the war against COVID-19. Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
Ajaokuta in Benin is standing by with our next report.
Kene, welcome to Benin. The police is on the trail of those who assaulted security operatives, enforcing compliance with directive by the state government to stem the spread of coronavirus. Goodluck Enaini reports that this is the outcome of an emergency security council meeting in Benin.
Following the emergence of more cases, the state government rolled out some measures to help check the spread of the virus. It was in the course of carrying out the enforcement that a misunderstanding ensued and left some persons sustaining varying degrees of injury.
I'm just doing my work, so they should have mercy on me. So one time came, so okay, let's leave him, don't kill him.
They finished my head, started using block, everything moved to finish me.
All the services are aligned and committed to the fight of COVID-19.
The investigation is going to be very thorough. Those that are found wanting will be dealt with according to the existing laws within the various services.
He also speaks on the position of the police over the death of a police officer in Bauchi axis, resulting from an alleged attack by some persons while carrying out enforcement of the curfew.
We have not made any arrests yet.
The council solicits support of the public. Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Network News continues after the break. Please stay.
TV dey your side as times dey tough so. We don't see your loyalty and we appreciate the journey where we don't work out together. That na why GoTV dey sama you with better upgrade to the next package as you stay connected or reconnect. We dey your side with correct entertainment. You fit save up to 75% because now we. Not to stay connected or reconnect, GoTV go upgrade you at no extra cost. Wow! Stay connected with GoTV self-service payment options. Visit GoTVAfrica.com to gather more information about this better discount and our payment options. GoTV dey your side. Enjoy GoTV Wow Awoof. GoTV. Live it. Love it.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Muhammad Bello Shehu as Secretary, Revenue Remobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission for initial first term of 5 years with effect from 19th March 2020. Similarly, the President has approved the appointment of Mr. Bitrus Dahabi Chinoko as the Substantive Director General of the Center for Management Development, Lagos, with effect from 27th April 2020. Until this appointment, Mr. Chinoko was in an acting capacity at the center. A statement for the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the President congratulates the new appointees and urged them to bring their wealth of experience to bear on their appointments. And that's the Network News tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Aburike. Do have a good night.